What is the best way to adjust poker hand ranges per street? Imagine you're at a poker table, and every card that hits the board changes the story of the hand. The way you update your view of what your opponent might hold is what we call adjusting their range. This process is key to reading opponents and making smarter decisions throughout the hand. It's not about guessing exact cards but about narrowing down possibilities based on their actions, the texture of the board, and what you know about their tendencies. At the start of a hand, ranges are broad because you have little info. As the hand unfolds, each bet, raise, or fold helps you cut down the list of possible hands. For example, if your opponent raises preflop from the early position, they probably have a tight, strong range. If they raise from the button, their range is wider, including more weaker hands. When the flop comes, the texture matters. A dry board with low unconnected cards usually favors the preflop raiser's range. A wet board with straight or flush possibilities might mean both players could have connected hands. If your opponent checks, they could be weak or trapping. If they bet, it might be strength or a bluff. Use their actions to eliminate hands that don't fit. On the turn, you get another chance to refine. If a scary card hits and they check again, they might be scared or have a marginal hand. If they bet, think about how that card interacts with their range. Did it complete a draw? If so, their bet could be a bluff or a made hand. The turn is where you really start to narrow their range based on how they respond to the changing board. By the river, your range should be quite specific. If they bet big, are they bluffing or value betting? If they check, they might be weak or trying to trap. Now, compare their narrowed range with your hand. If your hand beats most of their possible holdings, calling is often the best move. If not, folding might be smarter. To do this well, start with a default range based on their position and tendencies. Then, as each street develops, adjust that range based on their actions and the board. Watch their bet sizes too. Larger bets often mean stronger hands, smaller bets can be bluffs or medium-strength hands. Remember, the texture of the board guides your adjustments. Attack when the board favors your range, and be cautious when it favors theirs. Mix up your own play to stay unpredictable, and keep observing how your opponents change their style. Against tight players, you can widen your own range to steal more pots. Against loose or aggressive opponents, tighten up and look for opportunities to trap them. If the game has antes, everyone's range tends to be wider because the pot is bigger and worth fighting for. In heads-up play, ranges are naturally wider, so you need to be even more flexible with your adjustments. Avoid common mistakes like fixating on a single hand or ignoring new information. Always update your estimate of their range as the hand progresses. Don't play a static strategy that doesn't adapt to what's happening. Remember, adjusting ranges is a mix of logic, observation, and flexibility. The best players are those who can accurately narrow down what their opponents might have at each stage and then act accordingly. That's what separates winning players from the rest. It's a skill that takes practice, but once mastered, it makes poker a game of skill rather than luck.